In five, four, three, two, one. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Moonteapodcast, where we discuss craft, community, and the pursuit of building a meaningful career. And I'm John.
I'm Hugh.
Yeah, let's see where things go. How's it going, Hugh?
Good, John. I have a question for you right off the bat. This is something I've been
Yeah.
wondering. Optimization of your life with regards to technology and how you use technological services on your computer. I was talking today and thinking about it. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to optimize my life and how to make it a bit more streamlined so I can have a bit more control in it so that I don't just scroll mindlessly through YouTube and any of the social feeds. And how do I just kind of improve on it? What are your thoughts?
Mm,
We're diving right in. I didn't even ask how your week is. We just start these episodes. We don't really talk too much before it. Sometimes we do.
yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about it. What are you trying to do when you optimize something? Like what is an example and like
I'm trying to figure out whether or how to build consistency in my day. Like sometimes I don't think I have a very mapped out circadian rhythm. I don't think I go to sleep or wake up at consistent times. I feel like during the day my energy levels vary drastically on different days. My productivity on certain days are higher or lower than others, which is understandable, but sometimes it's almost too much. You're like, huh, even though I had good intentions today, I felt beat all day. And then other days you're like, huh, that was really good. And then I also try to like figure out ways to not rely too much on like caffeine or drinking a lot of coffee and stuff. So just trying to find a balance. And I'm just curious. I wanted to query with you because I mean, everyone's talked about this for years, and you've even got like Tim Ferriss's, Book of Titans and stuff. But hey, I'm curious. How do you do it? What are your thoughts?
well, I'm definitely not better at it than you are. Like I have
Oh, sure.
I have
How do
I
you
have
even know? You
swings of
don't even know what I
days.
do. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I find that the days where I'm really productive and focused and do a really good job, like have a lot of good output, are the days that I've slept well, I've had a I've had a good meal, just kind of like the basic things, and I don't have too many distractions. But anytime you have any one of those variables off, then that potentially throws it off.
Do you have a consistent breakfast that you have?
Um, no, not really. It kind of changes, but these days I've been doing bacon and eggs, and then if I feel fancy, I'll add something to it.
Are you serious? You cook bacon and eggs every morning or most mornings?
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's like 10x what I do. I I wish, oh man, that's cool. That's really
it's easy
cool.
though. It's easy though.
It
You
takes
just
so much time. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to make anything.
yeah. I have a lot of those days, but I mean,
But more often than not, you make bacon and eggs. That's so good.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, or uh, yeah. But I mean, I think it happens that there are swings in productivity. I guess not everyone is like Cal Newport, and they're just this like oiled up machine where they know exactly what they're gonna accomplish that day.
It's
But
Cal Newport, that one guy who got 5 years championship in Tai Chi push hands. Or is that someone else?
oh no, no. Cal Newport wrote a book called Deep Work, and he
Mm.
also wrote a book called So Good They Can't Ignore You. And he writes a lot about work culture and the importance of being really focused on like really hard problems. And then he like is always bashing on social media. So yeah. But
So when do you
I wouldn't.
sleep? When
Yeah.
do you wake up? Tell me more. I want to learn about you. Tell me. You seem like you're a humble guy, one of my closest friends, but also I feel like you do a lot. And that's not just
Uh,
work wise. We're talking about like athletics. You have motivation to stay in shape, I think. Maybe these days. I don't know much. Catch me up.
well, let's start with lowering your expectations. But nothing fancy. I go to bed around 9:30, and then I wake up around 5:30.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You work East Coast hours. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
And yeah, nothing special. I mean, sometimes I'll do a 6 mile run after work. There's a really cool there's a really cool view that it takes 3 miles to get there. It's like on top of a lake, and then 3 miles back. Um, and then I think I'm gonna get a climbing membership next week, so I'll do that for a month.
Hey, that's awesome. I just got my climbing membership yesterday for a month.
Oh, cool.
I used my when you were last here and visiting me, you got me your bay for getting me that pass, and I just used the final pass
Oh,
last
nice.
week. I went for the first time. I went 3 times in the past week, and it was so good. I haven't been climbing in a year, and it was so good. I was like, oh, John,
Why?
I was gonna thank you. I forgot to.
Yeah, why only get it for a month? I guess you're trying
Mm,
it out.
yeah, I don't want to spend more money, even though the price does drop by the 3 month price point, 3 month pass and the 6 month pass and the year pass. I just don't want to spend the money. So I'm like, I'll take the risk of like 20 extra bucks in 3 months worth than just than just buying 3 months. You're in how big? How's the climbing gyms over there? You're
Pretty
in,
good.
so I don't even remember where you are. My goodness. You're in where?
I'm in Seattle.
You're in Seattle. Yeah, yeah.
Live in an area called the South Lake Union, which some people also call Bezosville because there are a lot of Amazon offices.
Hmm. Do you have
And
the R&D of the Tap and Go place, the Tap and Go grocery store? I think it's in Seattle, right?
yeah, there are a few of those. I've been
Oh,
to a
there
few.
are? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, well, that's cool. I've never seen one. So
Oh.
we're barbarians out here in Arizona. Oh,
Pay
Wild
with
Wild West.
card,
No, we
sometimes
still pay
cash.
with camel, dude. No, I'm just kidding.
Hmm. Um, yeah, definitely a hub for early Amazon products and like one
Can
day
I tangent
shipping.
really
And
quick?
yeah.
Dude, so pay with camel. My dad and my mom, they once went on a cruise around the Mediterranean like 5, 7 years ago. It was like a 20, 30, I don't remember, 25-year trip. And when they were there, they were at this one store. I don't remember. It was one of those like Persian rug stores. And I'll have to get my mom or dad to retell me the story. But basically, the guy comes out and is like talking with them and is like, "I'll give you a really good deal for this rugs," and they're like, "No, too high. I'm not really looking." And he's like, "Blah blah blah." And then he somehow found out that mom and dad that they have a daughter, and then he's like, somehow the conversation went on, and he's like, "So, how many camels do you want for her?" And
Whoa.
and I just remember the story, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "I don't remember. I don't know the numbers, but maybe like 3 or 5 camels." Like, and they're like, "No, no, what are you doing? No, we respect that. We're just looking at rugs and everything." And they went away. But then when they're leaving, he's like, "Here, take this bracelet and give it to your daughter so that she may remember me." I was like,
Whoa.
"Wow, what a different world." And this guy wasn't joking, right? Like, he genuinely was making a really kind offering of like,
Playing the long
how
game.
many?
That's
Yeah,
funny. Never even met your daughter or anything, or your
yeah,
parents, like your sister.
yeah. She's like, "How many camels would you take for her?" Like, oh,
Wow.
that's a thing. Okay. But anyways,
Yeah,
that
you're
was
gonna
the
need.
joke.
Yeah, you're gonna need more than 3 to 5 camels.
Yeah,
Like, take it
knowing her,
seriously.
she's at least 6. No, I'm just kidding. 20, Julia, 20. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, I digress. Amazon stores and John runs at 6 miles.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
yeah, nothing fancy. Um, yeah, and then there's also an apartment gym, so we can make an appointment like kind of like earlier, and then you just show up and you're the only one there.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
That's
I also went to a boxing gym that is 1 block away, and I was super excited to go. And yeah, it sucks because no one there was wearing a mask.
Mhm.
So
Were
we
you
need
wearing
to
a
wait
mask? You can
until,
wear one. That would be fun. Do you think it would be fine or no? If you wore a mask
well,
and they
it's
weren't?
better if everyone's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So I was
Like,
like, I'm gonna wait until everyone I know is vaccinated.
yeah. You did just get your
And
Johnson and Johnson though, right? Hey.
yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
feeling. I thought I was invincible, and I thought I would be able to just go on a run like it's no big deal. But like I spent a portion of the day like taking a bath and just like napping in the bath.
Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah. As I was talking, I got the Pfizer. I don't know about the Johnson Johnson, but it seems like yeah, I have 2 other friends that one of them was fine and one of them has body aches. So I guess there's something with it. Oh well, it's gonna be
Yeah,
okay. That sucks.
yeah, it'll be fine. Better than dying from COVID.
Yeah, I
So
would say so. That's a good risk analysis. So back to the climbing gym though. Question I was gonna ask was, is it a top roping gym or do you like bouldering more? Or does it have both? Just curious.
it's a bouldering gym, or at least the
Oh,
one that I
really?
go to. There's another top roping gym, but uh, bouldering's nice because you don't need as much gear. And yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm also doing a triathlon in September,
Oh
which is
no
why
way.
I'm running a lot.
Oh yeah. I remember we mentioned this in episode 1. How's that training coming around? You're doing it with a coworker, right?
Yeah, dude, my coworker trains like 2 or 3 times a day. I don't know how he just steps away from his computer and
It's
then goes
amazing.
like runs 3 miles.
Yeah. See, how does I don't know that type of I being active, optimization of your day, right? Like, how do you find the energy to continually every day without being on like a team or without a coach? I don't know if he has a coach or not. How do you do it? I don't know. People are amazing. I had an ex-girlfriend once that was just unbelievable. And I was like, wow, I'm so much more of a slob than you.
We all have that, but it's a matter of how much do we pull a what's that bald guy's name? The buff bald guy.
Oh, go
Who,
Goggins.
yeah, like how much of a Goggins do we want to pull and like fight against the laziness?
But there's like even like that's like even today, there was like a moment where it was one of the lower days, so that's kind of why I was asking this. I just was thinking in my head, no, you know, work harder, like do the XYZ. You have a to-do list. You got stuff to do. And I just kept talking to my head, and then I was like getting more and more tired. And I don't understand. Like there's that moment where you're like, rationality isn't working here, and I definitely don't feel it physically, and I'm not winning this battle, and I can watch all the Goggins videos, but I don't feel inspired. It's not inspired. I don't know. I went and took an hour nap and it felt great. So maybe I needed it, but I slept for already 8 hours. So I was like, oh
Oh,
my
nice.
God. Yeah, no, that's the thing that sometimes I just never understood. I don't know if I'm one of those that just needs 9 or 10 hours of sleep. And it just makes me feel so lame to have to be that person. I know like certain people that have been successful have been people that you look at their stuff and they're like they sleep 10 hours a day and they're like I need that, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but I'm like, I'm not really even close to being at that level. But then there are other people who are like, I sleep 4 or 5 hours a day, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. So I don't understand. I don't know where I fit in, and I don't feel consistent.
I definitely need 8 hours, and I don't always get it, which sucks.
Do you take
And
naps during the day on those days or no?
sometimes
Hmm.
I did today because I was just like not feeling great. Um, and then I'll take a nap on the occasional like Sunday.
Hmm.
But um yeah, I mean, I definitely like feel way better when I get 8 hours of sleep. So yeah, dude, sleep hygiene is pretty important. Like I have a friend who takes all these pills and he has all these health problems because he made a lot of bad decisions in the past, and he he's like going to doctors and stuff, and then I'm out here just being like, okay, have you slept 7 to 8 hours every day this week? Are you eating well? And are you exercising?
How do you keep
Like,
track of that? Do you keep track of that, or do you just go by your mental notes? Because I find myself, I like tried to write down something from like 2 days ago, yesterday, and I couldn't remember what I did. Is it just me, or like I'm so forgetful for some reason? I'm like, I work hard, but then sometimes I don't even I'm like I don't remember what I did yesterday or the day before. Like, what am I doing in life?
um, yeah, some people track it, but
Do you not?
I don't know. Not really. I think the exercise part, I can like if I go too long without exercising, like I feel gross,
Yeah.
and so that's a pretty big motivation. And I I also like, with respect to food, like I know what works with my body, and so I like generally try to eat that a lot and like not as much of other things. But I mean, I always eat random like not healthy stuff as well.
How long is too long for you when your body starts to be like, oh, I feel like a slob?
A few days, maybe like, I don't know, 3 4 days.
Yeah, I'm around the same. Yeah, it makes sense. No, I'm trying to figure it out. I was writing I've been trying to I have like 4 different notebooks that I like cycle through at
Oh,
times, and they're just different colors and stuff. And then I just like forget which one I put in which. So I'm like trying to narrow it all down. But I have like my workbook. So I finally decided, okay, I'll use this one this week. And I've made it 4 days in a row where I've kind of like made to-do lists and tracked them. Do you use to-do lists?
I do at work. Like in
And
the
at work
Yeah.
meaning at home on your computer. So like when you're working, but so what does that work mean? Like on a to-do list app or something, or is it in your own like a
Just
Asana
on
or
a
Jira?
just on a like a text. Like I can do it on notes. I usually write it down in Roam Research, but it doesn't really matter. So like
So you
as
actually use Roam still? Oh,
yeah, I just like write down stuff, and then yeah, I've been using it.
oh,
I mean, I
that's
don't I don't use all the functionality, but it's just there.
hmm. Interesting. I remember you saying you used it, but I didn't remember. So you use it daily because I know it has a daily action, like a daily plan thing that refreshes every day. Do you just use that as your to do, and then it makes different nodes?
I don't know what that is. I literally just open my laptop and I'm like, what do I want to do today? And then I write it down. So it's like 4 things. I rarely get to all those 4 things, but I at least like I know I have an idea of what I want to do that day. And it's not all like build this or fix this. It's also like read this or like respond to this.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've been finding myself writing kind of. I was trying to find what is a good medium. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to find motivation. I'm trying to find like how do I like even this past week, even though I know I need to study more crypto and blockchain stuff on my free time outside of work, one every 3 days I can get a good study session in, and then the other two
Mm-hmm.
days I'm like listening for 5 minutes to a podcast or a YouTube video or some reading, some blog, and then I just like switch on over, and it's like rabbit, you know, rabbit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, are you, when you switch on to something else, do you find yourself like doing something else that like
Yeah,
is there to distract you?
yeah, it's like if I'm reading a blog, I think it's like this thing where I'm kind of gravitating towards on my free time a least common denominator of things, and they're things that I'm not the most. It's not that I'm a negative fan of. I do enjoy video games and stuff, but I find myself watching some like League of Legends YouTube videos or like a Dota YouTube video or something, or I'll play like a quick game of ARAM all random mid on League or something. And while I do like that, and I think that is very fine, I just kind of wish that I could find that gamified joy of interest in learning or like trying to improve, where I'm like interested in, I like beating other people in the League of Legends type things. It's like good competition. Like, how do I like reading a blog on Bitcoin in those tired states rather than like a more up state? I'm like, I wish I could be more like my dad, right? He's this guy that just reads all the time. It's amazing. He just
Yeah,
loves reading,
he's
you
he's
know?
a he's a living history book. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's kind of reminds me of the end of World War II. You know about that, John? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh,
Even yeah,
yeah.
today I was talking with a gentleman who's the gentleman who does our SEO, and he lives in Jordan. And when I mentioned to dad, I like said, "Hey, dad, say hi to Mayor, and Mayor, say hi to dad." And they're like, "Hi." And after them talking a bit, dad makes like a random joke about the Prince of Saudi Arabia that, and then Mayor's like, "Oh yeah, I know that political event and like the royal family, something happened recently." And I'm like, "I don't know any of that." But then right after that, I know I'll look it up soon, but hopefully, but after that, he's like, once I got off the call, he's like, "Yeah, something, something, I, Jordan." And then I said, "Yeah, Mayor really likes Jordanian coffee." And he's like, "Oh, Jordanian coffee. That reminds me about the iconoclasts from the 800 AD." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And yes, the iconoclast. I'm like, please, just do tell, And then he just goes on a foray of the iconoclasts in the 800s when they were going against the Catholic Church and didn't really want to talk about like icons and statues and figureheads, and that was against it because it was in the Bible and yada yada. And I was like, what? Okay, cool. And then he's like, yeah, this then pulls into the 1500s and the 1532 when Henry VIII was interested in making the Anglican Church, and then 1580 there was the purging of the Catholic priests. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I lived through all this. I'm like, what?
Well,
Dude.
there's a reason why your dad was a professor and why we're just aspiring podcasters.
But it's like I wish, I don't know what it is about me and my American education or just me as like a mediocre person in this world. I'm okay. I'm not that bad, and but I just do wish that there are moments where I could have more zest and drive for
Hmm.
even reading. Just,
Hmm.
when was the last time, and this is not a humble brag, this is embarrassing. When is the last time I finished a novel that's a non like a fictional novel?
Yeah.
I got through chapter 2, chapter 3, and I thought it was beautiful. The prose is amazing, of um, Call of the Wild. uh, is it Call of the Wind? Call of the Wild? A month ago, right? And I never
Hmm.
have read it since, even though I'm like, that was super interesting. But when I think about reading, I'm like, and then I feel tired. But in the past year, I don't think I've read end to end a fiction classic, like a piece of literature that is beautiful. I think the last piece of literature that I ever read that I loved and I actually reread and like watched the movies and then the zombie movie of it the weekend following was Pride and Prejudice.
Mm. Oh, okay.
And
Interesting. Huh.
I loved Jane Eyre's writing style there, and it was so amazing. And I just find myself, and it's not, this isn't very, very negative, but I just find I'm just a bit disappointed in myself and who I am as a
Hmm.
young millennial in the 21st generation century, as an American privileged bum, that
Yeah.
like one of my closest friends from swimming, he's been getting really deep into literature, and he's even trying to write a book. And I said, one day, Jake, when you finish that book, John and I will have you on our podcast. And so
Ooh.
it's his goal. It's a goal I set for him. But with that, I he's reading avidly, and he's reading books that I was like, wow, that was always on my list. Like I always wanted to read, well, not Don Quixote, but oh, dear, like who is Dostoevsky's stuff, right? And I, I never got deep into the Russian novels, and that would be amazing. But he's like reading them now, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, why don't I? I don't know. I guess I'm a bit ranting right now, but it's just, ugh. I just want to do things in life, but then I find myself looking through YouTube at League of Legends videos, and I just feel disgusted.
Which there is a time and a place for.
I know, but I do think there's only a limited amount of time in the day and
Yeah.
in a week, and balancing. I'm not in a relationship, but balancing with family and friends and work, and then extracurriculars of like exercise. I
Yeah,
find it
there's a lot to do.
difficult to add in literature, and I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, man. And Bitcoin, how do I add in blockchain too? It's really annoying. And then how do I try to think about building a secondary life, not secondary life, like other passive streams of income and revenue?
Oh,
Right. I
yeah.
don't, I don't, how do I learn to cook, dude? I like, I make trash food. I
Really?
make such trash. Like it's okay. I make a really good, if you give me a grill, give me some filet mignon, okay, I can do that. But if you ask me to make dinner, 2 out of 3 times, my dinner is going to consist of a start carbohydrate of rice or potatoes with no dressing, or mashed potatoes with a bit of rosemary and like some salt and pepper. But that's
Hmm.
basic. And then a veggies would just be some spinach or light
That sounds
salad with
great.
some mixes. Yeah, but I'm just so basic. No, and then the third part would be a meat, and the meat would be extremely media, just like average of the run of the mill. It's like a nice fish with some lemon, or a decently chopped up beef or pork or chicken stir
Hmm.
fried, right? And that's like my meal that I make most of the time. And then I think about what, mom's cooked for me all my life and stuff, and what other people have cooked. And I'm like, I want to be able to create food for people that is not bland and mediocre. There's just so many goals in life too, They're just I
Yeah.
think it's important. And I think it, like, if I think if I ever had my boss over, what would I cook for him? Okay, maybe
Take
I would
out.
do a to take out, right, but I don't want to. See, that's the thing, is I would want to cook it. And that's, maybe I just have maybe I just have a lot of wishes and a lot of
Yeah.
moping.
With
Yeah.
respect to cooking, I think one approach that worked well for me, like, and I'm not a cooking pro or anything, but I I can I can eat really well to a point where like I'll order salmon at a restaurant and be like, I think I prefer mine, or like I'll get tacos somewhere and I'm just
Wow.
like, I prefer mine. Not LA taco truck tacos though. It's
I love it.
irreplaceable. um, so the way that I did it was like it kind of started with the need for survival and and not a giant budget. And I was making pasta a lot, but then I like got really good at making pasta, and then I got really good at like which ingredients you can add to pasta. So I would always do like grilled onions and grilled mushrooms, and that would be the base. And then I would add the pasta, and then I would like add chicken or whatever on top, and then kind of learn how to
Sounds
like
amazing.
play with different spices.
Amazing.
Um, but like those like pasta ingredients, I can very easily uh, use for when I make salmon. Like I think I made some grilled salmon when I came over, right? Like last year.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was delicious. The
Um,
thing is, you're saying
yeah.
grilled. You didn't use a grill? Do you mean grill as in like uh
Like
sautéed,
pan fried on a
pan
cast
fried?
iron.
Okay, got it. Cast iron would
But
be a good start. That's a good.
yeah, cast iron is great for meats.
Yeah.
And then I kind of learned how to make a meal that is really nutritious and is quick and easy enough for me to actually eat on a daily basis. And then it's just like a little bit of experimentation every day, because like I don't always have the same spices, and I don't always have like mushrooms, and there's always like more to experiment with. So like garbanzo beans, for example, are great when they're in a can because they last forever and it's really good nutrition, and I can just like add it to anything. And so like I'll always have garbanzo beans around. And then an onion like lasts a pretty long time, and I can very easily cut it in half and add it to whatever, and it like adds a lot of flavor. But then like if I really wanted to like upgrade and like impress someone, then I might add like garlic, ginger, and onion with like all in butter with like some herbs on top. But then that'll be like the base, like the rich base for whatever comes on after. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, it all started with just like survival and cooking every day, and then kind of experimenting with different ingredients. And I'm definitely not like I'm last on the list of a skill set of people who can like kind of cook, but at least at the very least, like I can survive. If there's a good grocery store near me, like I can eat really well and like never go out.
Yeah. See,
Um,
that's amazing. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I find myself to be so repetitive. I'm just like a broken record. I think we should start off every episode now for the next two episodes with John's recipe of the day.
I
I think
only I
that's
only have like three omelets,
our.
pasta, and salmon. I don't need
Well, I'm
anything else.
down. Let's see. I want to hear this pasta recipe. This is something either today or the next episode in the beginning. I request, if I remember, to ask what the pasta recipe is, especially the up leveled one with like your spices. What spices do you put in?
Yeah, well, it depends on what I have, but my general rule of thumb is I will not buy a I will not use a store bought pasta sauce. I think it's pretty lazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
you even make your own pasta sauce.
yeah,
Wow.
it's
Do you
pretty
cook
easy.
every day or do you cook lunch and dinner or do you cook breakfast? Like, how do you find the time in your day? Do you just enjoy it and you just cook or do you meal prep days
I
worth?
I, I cook and I meal prep,
Wow. I need a
but
meal prep. I don't meal prep.
yeah, if I was fabulously wealthy, like I would still cook. I like it.
I just eat Costco dumplings every day for like
Those are
from
great.
Costco
I
for
eat those once
lunch.
in a while too.
Once in
But
a while would be good. I I want to up level my life.
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest benefit of is that you have full control over what goes into your body, because like you're buying the ingredients. And so
Yeah.
yeah, like you have a lot of agency in like what you put into your body, instead of as opposed to being like, oh, these are the dumplings that I like and they have these ingredients, but I'm still gonna eat it because it's good.
Hmm. Hmm. That
But
makes sense.
yeah, on Sunday I'll usually do like a big meal prep. These days it's been like a giant batch of fried rice,
Wow, that sounds yummy.
and that
I'm
that will
hungry.
be lunch for the next few days.
Just fried rice?
Yeah, yeah, just fried. I can eat the same thing. I don't care.
Wait, that's so interesting. See, wait, so you're okay. You just eat like a carb for a meal and nothing else? I think that's cool. Is that a thing? Is this like researched? I don't know. I've always thought this is cool.
It's a tiny bit of rice, and then a lot of like there's egg in there and vegetables, and like sometimes there's salmon, sometimes there's chicken.
Okay, that makes a
And then
lot of
there's
sense.
like spices and chili oil and
Okay,
random.
see, all right, you need to. All right, we're doing stop drop next episode. I'm gonna have you. I'm prepping. All right, I look forward to
I'm
it.
gonna wear an apron and then just be like cooking
You
like
belong to the
a.
universe on the right, and then behind you it's gonna be John's Kim's cooking show segment. I don't know.
In between a sode.
Yeah, and we're just gonna be a
um
cooking thing. Let's do it.
yeah. um
So you win a lot of time there. I'm going to call it as a win because I don't win a lot in my week. And I think my weeks there's a lot of losses that are easily winnable. And I think one of them is my energy levels with regards to intake of food and
mhm.
energy levels midday when I always forget that I'm going to be very tired after a morning work to make lunch. And I continually repeat this and then I'll make like a PB&J sometimes.
Mm.
And I don't like that about myself, and I want to improve that. So you meal prep on Sundays, and I have
Yeah.
met people that meal prep on Sundays, and I've always thought it was an incredible idea. That being said, even though it's a Google away, for some reason I've never cracked that egg on how many did you meal prep for 5 days or 3 days in advance or 2 days worth
um
or
well, I just kind of do whatever works, but
average then?
in a weird way, because I'm kind of like taking an engineering approach to it, which is like, how can I do the most amount of work to enable my laziness?
Yeah, min max it, dude. How do you min max it?
So at my last job, I drove to West Hollywood every day, and I was saving a lot. Like I wasn't going out for lunch that much, and what I would do was I would make I would make 3 or 4 lunches. And then there was one day, I think it was Wednesdays, they had like $5 sushi. So I would buy that because it was good. Um, but the rest of the days I would bring my food, but then I didn't quite want to eat the same thing every day. And so I would not eat food one day a week. So it was like Monday or Tuesday, just so that I wouldn't have to meal prep as much. And it was like a little bit, uh, yeah, just so so yeah, I did that for a long time, and like my coworkers thought I was crazy because they'd be like, "Hey, John, you want to get lunch?" And then I just casually look at them like, "Oh no, thanks. I don't eat on Tuesdays." And they're like, "What the hell? Like,
That's
who is this guy?"
you, that's so funny. I love it.
But yeah, but it was really interesting. I mean, it made sense at the time because I was driving a lot, and like I didn't have to deal with like, how am I going to refrigerate this food, and like I need containers and all
Yeah,
this
that's so
stuff.
true.
And it was, what was interesting was when you take out food from the entire day, like you can just like focus on whatever you're doing, and like you realize how much food like takes away from the rest of your
Takes so
day.
much time. Yeah, I was in when I was in San Francisco, I got into Soylent. I think you know this.
Ooh, nice.
No, it's terrible. I lost 10 pounds. I was like drinking it for breakfast and lunch, and the only thing I would make would be an omelet in the morning sometimes, once a week.
Mm,
It's like it was so bad. And then I'd luckily have food provided by Airbnb, right? But for dinner,
nice.
I'd
Oh
always
yeah, you did.
stay till 6. And they got me. Like I was one of the X number of people that just kind of I was trying to just maximize savings because I could barely afford living in the city at
Yeah.
all. And I was basically sometimes there are days where I'm like, I don't want to work at 3 or 4, maybe, and I wouldn't leave though. Like I couldn't leave. It was so bad.
That's funny.
It was so bad.
Go work out or something.
Yeah, but there was
Um,
no gym nearby. I'd have to bike to
uh,
Mission Cliffs or Dog Patch,
I
and so I
see.
was in Soma, and I was just like, why doesn't Airbnb have a Google where it has has a gym? Like, come on, what are you doing? No,
That's
just kidding.
funny. There's always a next level. Like
Yeah.
I hear about people at Facebook being being like, "Oh shit, like they don't have the organic kombucha today," and they're like legitimately pissed. Like it just sounds so ridiculous, but like
Oh man, they're
I'm so
remodeling the
sorry.
indoor basketball courts. Oh, okay. What? Right next to your engineering meeting room? Like, okay. Oh man.
Yeah, but um, yeah, these days nothing fancy. Just
Do you have
eat
a this
whatever.
fried rice dish on a Sunday? You prep a few days worth, whatever that is, for
Hmm.
lunch, and then
Hmm.
your breakfast you normally will. This I guess this episode has turned into an analyze John's food eating regime. Next up, we'll go somewhere else, I guess, to like notes. But but with regards to your breakfast, the eggs and the bacon, my breakfast every morning is as follows. It's the Go cereal box because it's the best carbohydrate to sugar ratio that I can find from what I've researched. It's like a 5 to 1, and there's like a golden rule of 4 to 1, where you want 4 carbs to 1 gram of sugar, supposedly. And it has like a 5 to 1, and it's really good in that sense, but it tastes very bland. And it's like the most bland food. And then I'll have a
Hmm.
banana.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. I think that there's like having come from a background of waking up for 4:30 to go swim at 5 a.m., right? For swimming
Hmm.
and stuff, where meal and nutrition is really important. Like having knowing all of that, I'm just too lazy to make oatmeal. Oatmeal is supposed to be like one of the most optimal foods with like the right type of power foods and antioxidants to like have.
Hmm.
But I find myself being such a bum in life that I can't even get myself to make freaking oatmeal, John. Like I don't
Hmm.
like myself. I like myself, but I don't like myself, right? And I
Yeah.
just yeah, I
Um,
want to be able to make oatmeal. This breakfast is so like bland to me. And I'm like, I don't know how people do smoothies. Like I want to learn about smoothies. Do people make like how do you make a good protein smoothie in the morning? Maybe that's the quickest way. Like a soylent that's not soylent because I don't truly trust in soylent anymore.
hmm. um, so I actually was gonna suggest oatmeal, but it looks like you've tried.
No, no, no. I
I
want to. I think I just need to be a
Yeah,
better person.
yeah. I would suggest the easiest way that I found to eat oatmeal was you get a bowl, you put oats in it, and then you get boiling water, and then you just put it in. So like boiling water from a
But
thing.
that's you have to get the instant oats there. There's a difference for like instant oats and rolled oats and like the whole oats, and like the glycemic levels are pretty low and good for most oatmeals, right? Versus high glycemic level index, which is high sugar and cereals. But for like oats like that, aren't steel cut oats the more optimal version? But I guess I shouldn't. I guess just oats would be better than no oats, and then I can go to rolled oats and steel cut oats.
Yeah, I actually put either rolled oats or steel. Like I didn't put instant oats in there.
Oh,
Like I
really?
just I just put boiling water and then I put
Oh,
like steel cut oats and I just ate it. I was like, yeah, it's not ideal, but like it's way too
okay.
convenient.
Interesting. I've never
And then
actually tried. I
if you
always
want, you can
just
like throw it in the microwave even more.
no way. I didn't think about that. I always thought that you had to do it overnight or like slow cook it for
Oh,
like
I mean
two
that's
hours.
that's a really good way as well. Doing overnight oats.
Hmm.
It's like that's another way that I would do meal prep because I would do like three at a time.
Hmm. Hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Do you drink coffee or tea or caffeine? Do you drink caffeinated beverages daily?
Um, I was for a while. I was drinking coffee for a while, and I was not a regular coffee drinker for a long time. Like I was the kind of person that would just like maybe a Saturday morning I like wanted to go study somewhere, and yeah, I would get a coffee, but then it wasn't like a, oh, I need my coffee. Um, these days, because my roommate drinks coffee, I've just been like drinking it by default. But this week I was like, okay, I'm not gonna drink coffee anymore. Like it's I know what caffeine addiction does to people, and there's this like horrible cycle where if you're underslept, you like you say I need coffee, and then you drink coffee, and it gives you like a little bit of artificial energy, and then you like don't sleep well the next night, and then you just like keep relying on the coffee, and you're just like caffeinated throughout the day. Like if I haven't slept well, I am not going to drink coffee because I need to teach my body like, oh, you need to suffer because you did not sleep well. But I have made the unfortunate mistake of buying a green tea matcha from Costco, so I need to like drink it all. There's so much in there.
Interesting. Well, I've never seen
Yeah.
it. I'll have to look into it. The coffee thing, or matcha for caffeine. Random facts. You ready for this? Random quiz time for John. 8 fluid ounces of black coffee. How many milligrams of caffeine are in 8 fluid ounces of black coffee?
I don't know.
150 milligrams.
Okay.
All right. How many grams of caffeine are in a shot of espresso?
150.
75. So double
75.
shot equals one black cup of coffee. How many milligrams are in a green tea 8 fluid ounce? Milligrams of caffeine.
I don't know, 50?
That one I don't remember, but I think it's like 100 or something, or 125. But like it is lower than black coffee. Maybe 75? I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
What is that one?
I mean, it also depends on how much matcha you put in there.
Caffeine. I don't know what matcha is really. Green tea.
It's a little powder one.
Oh, is that like caffeinated?
Oh yeah, it is. This is matcha.
Yeah, so correct. You're right. I'm wrong. So 30 and 50 milligrams of caffeine for an 8 fluid ounce cup of green tea.
Oh, nice.
But then there's a following question that I've asked many times: is what is the maximal amount of caffeine you can have before you start to build a tolerance?
I think it depends on the person. I'm not gonna say an overarching rule for everyone.
Yeah, I think there's like an average though, and from what I read, I don't remember anymore. But there was an interesting number, and let me find it really quick. Amount of caffeine for building tolerance. Because this is
you drink coffee every morning, right?
I don't drink coffee every morning at all. I drink it probably once every 2-3 weeks, and I always have this, like, there are moments in my life in college where I would drink it every day for about a month, and then I would just stop, and then I would never, because I would always overthink it like this, and then I'm always like afraid of caffeine addiction. I also I'm just too lazy to make a French press. Like, I really like French press. I don't have one of those like really quick pop ins and push downs. We have a one of those regular coffee brewer things, but you have to grind up the coffee. I'm just like so lazy in life that action of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not even, this isn't bragging. This is totally truthful. Like, one, I can't make oatmeal right now in my life. I don't meal prep on Sundays. I don't make caffeine or coffee, even though maybe it'll help me feel a bit better during the day. And I think it's problematic. And I just don't know how to build up. I don't know. I want to optimize my life, and I want to optimize my energy levels, and I want to like, I feel energetic right now talking with you. And I think maybe that's person to person, but before and after this, there are moments where I'm just like,
oh yeah,
anything anymore, right? Like, and probably in 30 minutes I'll be like,
we all have those days. Yeah, well, if you buy my ebook, I'll have some answers for you. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's something that everyone struggles with, just like wanting to do more. But
no, but I don't do that much. Let's be very honest. Like, so how much caffeine should you have in a day? For healthy adults, the FDA has cited 400 milligrams a day. That's about 4 or 5 cups of coffee. That seems like a lot, right? It's so interesting to me. And some people that consume as little as 100 milligrams of caffeine a day can lead a person to become dependent on caffeine. So experts consider 200 to 300 milligrams of caffeine a day to be a moderate amount for adults. So like, I've always been afraid of even trying drinking coffee, 2 cups of coffee a day. Like I've
Yeah.
never done that. I've never drank 2 cups of coffee a day for more than 2 days in a row, probably.
Yeah. I'll drink whatever until 9 a.m. and then I'll like definitely stop after noon. Cause like I just don't want my sleep to get ruined. That's like my biggest fear.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. So
But
I think, yeah, I
yeah,
think it's like 7 or 8
I mean,
hours is a caffeine high usually.
I don't.
Up,
Ooh,
down.
sorry.
What's caffeine usually?
Nothing. I don't know. I feel like that's not. I feel like it's okay to not want to drink coffee. I feel like there are other things that might be helpful, and I'm gonna be another person who recommends this, but like maybe look into something that's like meditative and isn't like super useful right away, just to give your brain a chance to unwind.
So I sit like
Oh,
10, 20
where's
minutes a lot. And I just
did
kind
I
of sit
make
there and I'm like,
this?
this is meditation. This is like
Oh,
nice.
why can I
But
not
I
hear
don't know,
you?
man. Oh, you can't hear me? Uh-oh.
That was weird.
Hello, hello.
What happened? Yeah, this is right.
Test, test. 1, 2.
Wonder what why can't I not hear you?
Test, test. 1, 2.
AirPods. Oh,
Test,
maybe my
test. 1,
AirPods
2.
are
1, 2, 1, 2. Test, test, test.
dude.
I'm gonna sing John a song that he won't ever listen
Okay,
to.
so what happened was my mom called me in the middle, and then my AirPods switched to my iPhone.
That makes sense. That's hard.
But I mean, yeah, we can like unpack that on days where we don't feel like talking to crypto or talking about crypto, and then just like figure out how to make you a superhuman.
I think there's an interesting thing I just looked up just a second ago is caffeine begins to affect your body very quickly. It reaches a peak level in your blood within 30 to 60 minutes. It has a
Ooh.
half-life of 3 to 5 hours, and the
Mm.
half-life is the time it takes for your body to eliminate half of the drug. So
Hmm.
yeah, caffeine's a drug, it has a half-life, so
Yeah.
3 to 5 hours. That makes sense. Um, that's interesting. Well, yeah, caffeine's an interesting one. Like, have you ever looked into? Yeah, I mean, meditation's fantastic and yoga and such, and
Hmm.
I have done that and do that here and there, but I don't. When I'm in those moments where it's like this morning, where I'm like, I'm tired. I should be working, but I need. I don't. I should be working, and then I just fall asleep. Right. Like,
Hmm.
I think it's the same thing with meditation. In those moments, it's like if I were to be meditating, that makes me go into the sleep state, right? Or
Mm.
lying down. So that doesn't really work that well
It
for
sounds like
me.
you're sleepy though.
Yeah, it sounds like either I'm wondering if it's like low blood sugars or low carbohydrates that like are good acting. Like maybe there's too much of a sugar crash from high glycemic index foods, but also inspiration and life. But then there's also like things where have you ever looked at things that are not caffeine related, like lion's mane, turmeric, cinnamon, like those other herbalistic type teas? And
Hmm.
I'm curious about those too because I got targeted by this one ad
Oh.
and I just listened to their thing and it's such a funny name. So I'm starting to look into it. I'm like, is this like something I should try? Um, and just looking at their branding right now, he's like, it's called Mud Water.
Whoa.
And it's a
Okay.
coffee alternative consisting of organic ingredients lauded by cultures old and young for their health and performance bonuses. Cacao, masala chai, turmeric, sea salt,
Whoa.
cinnamon, chaga, reishi, lion's mane, nothing else.
Whoa. Lion's mane. Whoa.
Cordyceps. And I remember watching the 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 video and he's like, yeah, like lion's mane was added to support mental performance. A newly hyped nootropic in Western cultures, lion's mane has been a part of Chinese and Japanese medicine for centuries. It's our vision to create a drinkable ritual that addresses mind, body, and soul. Like,
Dude,
and then,
not interested in nootropics.
well, I just don't. I was gonna ask more. It's like that isn't that a taboo word, nootropics? Like, or not a taboo word, but isn't what is that again?
I don't know that much about it, but my understanding is that nootropics are performance enhancing, uh, maybe stimulants. Like
Uh,
they're not necessarily directly drugs, but then like they'll have like certain effects to like make you more alert, make you more like study better. And I think it does work when you like use it right. The problem the problem is that it kind of ties into what I talked about earlier, which is that if someone has not slept 8 hours, had like is eating really well and is exercising, then like what's the point of artificially like trying to make yourself really alert? Like you might as well just like do the thing that do the known thing for your body. And so
mm,
um I know that nootropics work and people use them for studying and everything, but I'm like I would rather just like try to sleep well.
there's like a good progression. It's like physical therapy before you get a knee surgery, right? But
Yeah.
maybe not as
Yeah.
extreme. Just kind of like order of escalation events, right?
Yeah.
So nootropic used to enhance memory and other cognitive functions. Yeah. That makes sense. So it's basically one of those. Even though it is herbally and medicinally in the past for cultures used
Mm-hmm.
probably very respectfully, it might be overused here or abused. Or
Well,
I
yeah,
know that.
anything can be abused.
And I know that in America there's like a lot of brain pills that are nootropics that were
Mm-hmm.
booming, and then the FDA is kind of like, these are fraudulent, these are not good.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Um,
Uh, it's a little over 5. Maybe you want to close, unless you have any final thoughts.
all right, final question is: do you exercise in the morning?
No, because I start working at like 6:30.
Oh yeah, I
I don't
forgot.
want to wake
Yeah,
up any
I
earlier.
was gonna ask you about motivation. The next, I want to figure out. We'll talk more about it. You should. You're going to do your other things. I'll do my other things. It was a pleasure. It was a good day. We'll do another thing next week. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks to everyone who listened past the 9-minute mark, to the maybe one or two of you, and uh, yeah, stay for the cool outro music as usual. Take it away, Hugh.
It was a pleasure. Bye, everybody.